Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Tuesday, November 30th, 2010, and I'm Darko. New listeners, please visit my website, www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. Welcome to this Eugenics news segment here. We're going to kick it off here with this Post-Tribune article titled, Students Scramble to Get Required Immunizations. I always hate saying that word, but it says months into the academic year, Northwest Indiana school student districts are continuing to deal with students not up to date on new immunizations required by the state. So there's more vaccines that are required by the state here in Indiana, and it says Gary Community School Corporation, you like that, held a 4-day vaccination clinic last week to administer free shots. The district has handed down an ultimatum. An ultimatum. Students must provide proof of their vaccinations by November 29th or face exclusion from school. So you can't go to school. You like that, guys? And it says it's been a bit more difficult than before. The Gary School Re-Education Corporation Superintendent Myrtle Campbell said, quote, "We started early. We wanted parents to know about the changes and the urgency of them getting taken care of." Says the state added to its immunization requirements before this school year. Under the new rules, students in grades 6 through 12 needed to receive updated shots. And this article is about a week old. I covered it in another video, but it's just so horrific that I had to include it in this eugenics news segment. Pharma researchers working on drug to erase your memories. Drug researchers are working on a mind-altering chemical that could erase your memories. It's all being pursued under the umbrella of, quote, mental health, with claims that this could help victims of emotional trauma. The idea that you can, quote, heal a patient by chemically lobotomizing them is, of course, entirely consistent with the core mythology of modern medicine. If something's wrong, you should poison it, burn it, irradiate it, or cut it out, and then pronounce the patient healed. So this next one up is, this is from Reuters. Cholera hit Haiti, needs nurses, doctors, UN. And speaking of vaccinations, this group of people were vaccinated also. They believe that the United Nations and their troops brought in the cholera, being that it's never been in their country in history. It says Haiti needs a surge of foreign nurses and doctors to stem deaths from a raging cholera epidemic that an international aid operation is struggling to control, the United Nations top humanitarian official has said. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this in a recent video, my last videos, but a friend of mine basically had a client that was a doctor, and he had students, medical students, with him, and he was in Haiti, and they were told to evacuate. So they were told to leave because of what was going on. And see, and I had to explain it to my friend of why they did that. And you can say, "Oh, it's just violent. You know, these people are poor and they're sick." Well, no, they're pissed off because they believe that it was brought on, that it was eugenics. I mean, I'm sure they're not using the word eugenics, but basically the UN to them is the enemy. So, but this is the same thing that went on. This is the same thing that went on in the spring after the possibly HARP-induced earthquake that struck, and they had the U.S. and the UN and NATO had sent all these, troops and warships and helicopters and telecommunication infrastructure all set up, and then vaccinations came in. Vaccination tents were set up within the month after the quake. And so nothing's really changed. It's just eugenics being carried out on these poor people, and so they're going to gripe about these people not having enough doctors. But like I said in the spring, Doctors Without Borders and all these other organizations were turned away and told to leave. So UN urges Haiti to hold Sunday elections, and I found this kind of ironic because, like, in Ireland, the EU is telling Ireland to hold their elections, to suspend elections until they get their finances in order, right? Oh, you better just suspend your elections until you basically do what the IMF tells you to do. And you have this similar type situation in the UN. Oh, UN urges Haiti to hold Sunday elections. Just tell them to make sure you have your next puppet elected. Don't forget to do that, to vote in your next puppet master. and you know, don't worry about the people that are dying because of eugenics. So it's a complete it's just mess, and if you don't know how the world operates, then you're going to be lost in the sauce, and you're not going to really see, just like I said, the irony of things such as this. Haiti cholera death toll rises. The death toll from a cholera outbreak in quake-stricken Haiti has surged to 1,721 since the disease was first detected in mid-October, the health ministry has announced. And this is some crazy numbers. This is the first time I've seen this reported by the AFP. So far, 75,888 people have been affected with the disease, and 33,485 people have been hospitalized since the outbreak. It says the spread of the disease has been intensified by poor living conditions and lack of decent medical facilities due to earthquakes less than a year ago, which almost flattened the capital Port-au Prince and claimed over 250,000 lives. And it says some 1.3 million people displaced by the quake are still living in squalid tent cities in the capital, and hundreds of thousands more living in sprawling and sometimes violent slums. It's very, very true. I saw a video on that about women being raped just going to the bathroom to take a shower or go to the bathroom at night. It's a real bad situation. Many Haitians blame the outbreak on the UN peacekeeping mission after sending its Nepalese soldiers to Ardi, but I'd never seen that that name before, Ardi Banite, where the first cases were reported. However, none of the soldiers tested positive for the disease after samples were taken last week, said Mullet, the head of the UN mission in Haiti. The World Health Organization, or WHO, has warned that deadly illnesses will be will inevitably spread to other countries in the Caribbean. That's right. Yeah, I covered that too. Oh yeah, they're coming for you. So far, 6 cases of cholera have been seen in the neighboring Dominican Republic. Yeah, that's the one I covered. And now they're saying it's coming, yeah, to the Caribbean. And one in Miami, Florida. And he moved to this, and this is from the 22nd, saying UN may have brought cholera to Haiti, and says we'll investigate. So I guess it investigated it. Says after previously dismissing evidence that its troops brought cholera to Haiti, the UN now admits they may have, and says it will fully investigate. So it says UN envoy Edward Mullet now says Dr. Farmer, who called for an aggressive investigation, was right all along. We agree with him that there has to be a thorough investigation of how it came, how it happened, and how it spread. Mullet told the AP, if the UN had said from the beginning, we're going to look into this, and I think that in fact that would have been the best way of reducing public anger. So the way to contribute to public anger is to lie. So we'll see if they were actually lying about these test results. Daily pill slashes risk of HIV infection in study. A study released Tuesday shows an existing antiretroviral drug also can ward off HIV infections, in what researchers call a major advance in the quest to find medicines that prevent rather than simply treat AIDS. And there are those out there in the conspiracy world that do believe that HIV was created as basically a bioweapon for black people. So, and I think I even remember Obama's old preacher, I can't remember his name right now because he hasn't really been in the news, from Chicago, that basically made the same claim. Moving on here, soda companies pushed pop as beneficial beverage for infants. For over 100 years, soda companies have been selling products with ingredients that we know are linked to diabetes, obesity, gout, and kidney stones. There are some of the effects of high fructose corn syrup and phosphoric acid found in conventional sodas, and we haven't even mentioned the health problems caused by aspartame. And yet, despite the fact that these soda products are demonstrably harmful to human health, the soda industry has been working hard for many decades to convince parents to feed their infants and children more soda. So I said in the 1950s, the Soda Pop Board of America ran full-page ads in national magazines touting this message, quote, if you really want to give your baby a head start in life by improving their social standing and guaranteeing their happiness, start feeding them Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and other sugary carbonated beverages at the earliest age possible. Even babies as young as a few months old will enjoy the many benefits of soda pop. So there you go, folks. There you go. Now it's less blatant, but like I said, if you have eyes for it, it's pretty obvious. The eugenics, it's in everything. the air, like I said this before, the air that you breathe, the water that you take a shower, and the fluoride that goes and seeps into the biggest organ of your body, your skin, seeps through it. You know, it's in your food, it's on your clothes. So citizens fight back by uprooting GMO crop fields. The practice of citizens uprooting fields of genetically modified organisms may be undergoing a resurgence, reports the blog Food Freedom. In the 90s, activists across Europe regularly uprooted fields of GMO crops. Farmers in India burned fields of Monsanto's BT cotton, see, that's what I'm talking about, your clothes, which is engineered to produce pesticides in its tissues, objecting that they had not been warned they were planting experimental crops. Quote, despite the heavy use of chemical fertilizer, traces of which can still be observed in the field, the BT plants grew miserably, less than half of the size of the traditional cotton plants in the adjacent fields, the Cremate Monsanto campaign said. So I'm going to move on. Yeah, I remember French, they were uprooting some grape fields, GMO, the first ones. UK to boost vaccination rates by pumping babies with 6 vaccines at once. Apparently, drug companies are no longer satisfied with a tiered vaccine schedule and would rather have babies receive their shots at the same time in order to ensure full compliance. A recent announcement by the UK Department of Health insists that babies should receive a 6-in-1, quote, super vaccination when they turn age 1. Wow, that's just, you know, gonna fry their little brain neurons there, guys, their central nervous system. Wow. For the primary purpose of increasing vaccination rates. Wow, that's the purpose. And what is the purpose of vaccinations? Well, according to Bill Gates, it's to reduce the world's population in order to combat climate change and global warming and ultimately reduce CO2 levels. Black smokers may face higher death risk than whites, CDC says. It says Missouri study shows significant racial gap in mortality from heart disease and cancer. Study conducted in Missouri suggests that smoking may be even more lethal for blacks than it is for whites. And this is something that came locally in my neck of the woods. Blacks divided over possible menthol ban. And this, is, of course, is something that I proposed maybe a year ago. But, you know, here it comes. You know, the powers that be, for whatever reasons, Alan Watt believes it's for chemtrail, because of the chemtrails and nanofibers that they're spraying and the metals, that smoking, you actually cough up a lot of the eugenics that comes in, that arrives in these chemtrails and goes, because it's mostly bronchial. The chemtrailing, it hits you mostly in your lungs and that, in your bronchial tubes. So, you know, when you smoke, you cough a lot of this stuff up, so it's not going into your system. It's not seeping into your bloodstream as fast as they would like it to. So I'm thinking that he may be on to something by saying that they want to, you know, actually I said that they were just going to ban smoking a year ago because, well, they're Nazis, right? I mean, the Fourth Reich, it's basically the Rothschilds, they're Ashkenazi Jews, they're Nazis. And so this is what they want to do. For whatever reason it is, I don't know. But this is the first step to banning an all-out ban on tobacco, right? Blacks divided over possible menthol ban. Some groups argue the flavor of cigarettes lures young African Americans to smoke. Others say prohibition would backfire. So they say, yeah, first they said they're a target, which obviously they are a target of them, and then, you know, they're going to say, oh, we're going to help you, and we're going to ban these cigarettes, and then they're just going to all out ban them, because you know why? They're doing it already as far as where you can smoke. They're even in the UK, they're proposing banning smoking in houses with children. I mean, even if you go outside to smoke, what are you going to do? Oh, well, they banned outside. You can't smoke out there. You see what I'm saying? That's a very Nazi-type rule where they don't just ban guns. No, they just issue permits, and then after the next time you try to go for your permit, well, sorry, you can't. Your permit wasn't issued. Sorry about that. Same thing. They're not gonna. They may not ban smoking. They'll just ban it. You can't smoke in public places. You can't smoke in your home, and then they'll tax the hell out of it. So they'll find a way to stop it, guys. But we'll see, right? Says Wi-Fi makes trees sick, a study says. City trees are becoming sick from wireless radiation from local area networks and mobile phones, according to a European study. And the first thing that I thought was okay, well, if it's going to make trees sick, what about the people? But see, they don't care about that. Nobody cares about the health effects of these wireless towers on people. No, they just care about saving the whales and the sharks and the manatees. And so, you know, you could have eugenics carried out on you. Please